Afternoon vapors and the world. I'm going to get into politics, so it's going to be a white knuckle riot, trust me. But first, I just had my lunch, nice salad sandwich with turkey on the bone. It's got a bit of meat in there, it's a bit of protein, that's good. So, what do I follow that with? Vitamin C. One of these babies. This is Udo's Choice. I'm gonna fucking plug it. Udo's Choice Super 8, and I've got Super 5 as well, which is a lozenge, which is suck. It's brilliant. If I'd known about this 20 years ago, I would be a happy man, do you know? But anyway, no doctor ever told me to take a what's it called, a microbiotic after you've taken antibiotics. So yeah, so I suffered for many years. So I'm going to say thank you, Udo's Choice, for curing a lot of the problems I've been going through. So anyway, so here's this baby here. The old school way. Fucking lovely. So, yeah. I was eating badly. Every night, I'd put in the microwave either some fucking Chinese thing which was already made, or a roast dinner which is already made, just throw it into the microwave. And I'd done that for 2 years, and I thought, this is fucking stupid. So I was looking at what I was eating, you know, during the daytime. I was having my sandwich, which consisted of everything, and even sauces going into it. And I was having a sweet bar at the end of it, and this was religious. No, what I mean to say, I was doing this every day, and I always had heartburn, and I was getting a stomach on me and everything, and I was having other issues, and I went to the doctor, and he said you're going to have to live with the issues you've got, and so I had to put it down to diet, and so I decided to change my diet and done some research into microbiotics, and you know, and then doing some research on the food I was eating, on the fruit, and you know, the pros and cons of certain fruits, pros and cons of certain veg, and everything else. And so I picked out the best ones, and turns out that the humble kiwi fruit is a bit of a beast, mind. Yeah, it's full of everything. And then I got some dates, you know, king dates and king whatever, you know, it's full of potassium or whatever. I have my bananas, I have my grapes. Grapes are amazing things. You can do amazing things with grapes. And so, yeah, I've gone to the healthier side of eating, because I quit smoking for my health. Like, well, fuck it, you know, I might as well do something for my health in regards to what I'm eating. And I find this is useful for suppressing the sugar cravings. Whenever I get a craving for sugary things, I just have a vape. And it works. There's 0.3 milligrams of nicotine in my e-liquid juices, and I'm at the present moment in time doing a review on Vape X. It's they're from Northern Ireland. I'm going to have my opinions on this juice validated by the person who actually gave this to me to review. He gave me 4 10ml bottles. So we have here RGB, which I imagine is raspberry, grape and blueberry, maybe, I don't know. Well, this one's self-explanatory, banana nut. Then we have creamy twist, and we have milk smoothie. One thing I will say, as any high VG liquid, they really need to add more flavorings to the e-liquid, because it is muted. Some of the flavor, he's on the right track, but the flavors are just a bit low on, you know, the registry. Okay, and I've got in here, that's the creamy twist, and it's hard to know. And in here we have the banana. And the banana, you can taste the banana in this, okay, but it's not heavy. It's not heavy. You'd expect it to be more banana, but it just doesn't seem to just. It's just there. It just doesn't dance around your taste buds. It doesn't, you know, say, "Oh, this is amazing banana." I don't know whether it's down to steeping time or the fact that he didn't put enough flavorings in, and I think it's the latter. Yeah, they have a preoccupation with doing the. So we've got 70 VG, 30 PG, or whatever this is. I can't see it. Yeah. I think could that be, could be 25 VG, 75 sorry 25 PG, 75 VG. Now they're trying to boost those numbers, but they're sacrificing the flavour, you know, to make up the numbers. Sacrificing the flavours. You'd be much better off bringing it down to 70 and, you know, raising the flavour profile, because it does need more flavour. And I don't think steeping is going to do this any good. You know, it's not going to work. It's not going to raise it at all. It doesn't do anything. You can just barely hint of the banana. And one thing I have noticed is you got a very runny nose to this stuff, but it does need more flavour. He's going to have to sacrifice. He's going to have to bring it down, bring the VG levels down to raise the flavour profile. And that's the only solution to this juice. And I hope if he ever listens to this review, you take it on board and you'll say, okay, we'll raise the. But what he needs to do is balance those flavours out. Now, if you've got this RGB, if that is a grape in this RGB, you need to take out the grape. Don't need it. The grape is it's a wrong flavour. There are not many fans of grape, okay? There are not many fans, and grape does not work well in many juices. It's much like melon, you know. A lot of melon juices are very, and the melon is the dominating flavour note in the e-liquid, and there's not much is going to mask it. So he needs to get rid of the grape. If that's what it is, he needs to get rid of the grape out of the RGB, because it's not good. I'll tell you what it does. It gives it a sort of a chemically type taste. That's what it does. And it's not nice. And I'll see if I'm sure I put very strange. Ah, okay. We have a combo in here which I've saved for the RGB, and I'm gonna have to give this another go, because a lot of the time, if you taste the juice once, you're gonna form your opinion. But some juices you need a bit of time to work on, and here's the RGB. So I'm going to just load this one up, and it's already had RGB in it, so I know what it's going to be. Okay, we've got some fucking huge coils in there. And it's sitting around for a couple of days, so yeah, that's RGB. Oh, found that. Very wet coils. This is why I wick down to the bottom. It sucks everything up. It leaves me with a dry tank. You know, you're just stuck with a dry tank. You don't have to keep worrying about fucking priming the wicks like this, you know, because you see the way that fucking juice is shooting off our scalding me. Anyway, let's give it a whack. This he needs to work on his flavors. Seriously, he has to work on his flavors. Bring their, you know, the profiles up. Like I said, he needs to get rid of the grape. This would be a very nice juice, a really nice juice. He needs to get rid of the grape, and he needs to raise the flavor profile. That's the only tweaking he needs to do. And this is 75 VG, 25 PG, 3 milligram, and you should aim for a 70. It'd be a safe bet with 70 VG, if you just raise the flavor profile slightly. Nothing. And it's a shame. So in all these juices are the same. Even though they're a different flavor, they're all the same. The flavor notes are way too low. He needs to either add more flavorings to his mix, or he's going to have to use a higher concentration of flavorings that he's using. I don't know. It's not flavor art, and I'm pretty certain of that. It doesn't taste like flavor art flavors. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. So anyway, that's a review on Vape X for 10ml bottles. He's getting there, but just needs more flavors, more flavor, more oomph. So anyway, where were we? Oh, Donald Trump gave a press conference and took on CNN again. I find it interesting that the Irish Central actually released an article defending Mr. Trump, whereas normally Irish Central would be condemning Mr. Trump. But they conceded that he makes some salient points concerning fake media, and they highlighted a few incidences of fake media. One, they mentioned the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which escalated the Vietnam War. He said the Gulf of Tonkin incident didn't happen. And then they highlighted the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and it's true. These were fake stories. They were fake news stories, and these fake news stories managed to brainwash people into believing that taking Saddam Hussein out was a good idea, was the moral thing to do. But there are other instances which they did not mention. If you take, for instance, World War One, 1917, I think, I'm not sure, but it's the Australians who started this one with the corpse factories. The Germans and their corpse factories, making glue or whatever, melting bodies down. And baby killing Huns, and this was another, load of nonsense which was being printed in the media. People swallowing it, making them hate the Germans even more. But it was interesting that in 1925, all those stories were debunked. In 1925, news reports, the headlines were, corpse factories was a lie. So there you have another instance of fake news. But the problem with these fake news stories, a lot of people end up dying because of it. If you look at World War II, what really happened to trigger World War II has never been discussed. Most people are just led to believe that Germany invaded Poland, with no context of why they invaded Poland or why they attacked Poland. Nobody bothered to dig up all the evidence of the fact that it was revolutionaries within Poland who were bombing the German frontier and murdering ethnic Germans. This gets brushed under the carpet, and the people who are doing all these killings, these massacres of the Germans, were communists. They weren't Poles. The Poles didn't want to be under communism. The Poles had Russia on their doorstep. They could see what was going on in Russia in 1917 with the Bolshevik Revolution. They did not want that in their country. So, so this lie that Germany invaded Poland and then Britain came to Poland's rescue was nonsense. It was another fake news story. And did the British even help Poland? No. And what did they do to Poland at the end of the war? They handed Poland over to the communists. So yes, a little bit of revision doesn't do anybody any harm. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to go around and accept all the lies because it gives you a quiet lie, then I don't know, there's no hope for you. But now with Mr. Trump, more and more people are waking up to the fact that the media is lying their asses off, and they don't like it. Mr. Trump made some salient points on that exact point I'm making. And he said people are smart, they can see what's going on with the media. They can see it. He asked CNN to actually look at their own programming, in the mornings and the afternoon, to prove his point. And it's just, it's bizarre. It'd be refreshing to wake up in the morning and read the news and actually happen to be true, okay? It would be nice to wake up in the morning and somebody actually went so far against the media as to say to the media, look, you either start printing truth or we're going to shut you down and screw your First Amendment rights of freedom of the press. Because if the freedom of the press allows you to lie, then we're going to have to revoke that freedom. And they would be right to, because you just can't print any nonsense that you like with no oversight. That's wrong. You're just conning people. You're just brainwashing people. You're just playing on people's emotions. And and it's destructive. And whereas war's concerned with all these fake media stories, lots of people end up dying. And this is what people need to get into their heads. It's like what's going on in Syria and in the Ukraine. The Ukraine is being swept under the carpet. It's not even news anymore. But the separatists are being slaughtered left, right and centre. There are Christians actually crucified and set on fire. But did that make the mainstream? No way, Jose. Because it was the controlled Ukrainians who were actually committing these crimes. So it's not going to make it into the media, and the media is going to be silent about it. Then we go all these lies about what's going on in the Middle East and who's causing all the problems. The real players are the ones with the money. Like Saudi Arabia, or even George Soros. And all these types, all the people with money are driving all these revolutions, these colour revolutions. And people are turning nasty on the Muslims all of a sudden. The Muslims are to blame for everything. They don't make no distinction between a Sunni, a Shia, or anything else. They just put all Muslims into one box and say they're all evil. Where did we come to? Where did all this come from? And this is part and parcel of media lying. Media fucking turning around saying that, the country's got to be wary of terrorism. Terrorism, it's always about terrorism. Why is it you never hear of the terrorism going on in, say, Saudi Arabia or all these other countries who are funding these terrorists in the first place? No. It's all about Europe. So they're flooding Europe with refugees. Refugees? It's like somebody said something recently that made really good sense. He said, how can you call them refugees when it's only the men coming over? Where's the women? These are not refugees. Refugees are families. And he's right. You look at past refugee, here's one, Vietnamese boat people. There were all families on those boats. What about at the end of World War II, when all the Germans were expelled? It was all families. And so what we have flooding into Europe is men, boys. Where's the women? So how can you call these people refugees? They're being flooded. They're going to be flooding our countries, and they're going to be fucking. They have urges, sexual urges, like the rest. Where are they going to practice these sexual urges on if they're not bringing their own women with them? And I'm going to get called a racist for saying that. But no, it's a fucking point, and it is a fact. Who are these people going to be procreating with? And this is all down to somebody's desire to destroy white civilization, white Christian civilization. If you can't see it, you're fucking blind. And they're not being racist, they're not being white supremacist. It's just a fact. You can see it. When is somebody going to turn around and say, look, we're going to allow these people in, but they've got to be in families. They've got to have their women and fucking children with them. Anyway, this is a bit of a rant, and I've made some salient points. You cannot disagree with that. Anyway, I'm going to sign off there because it's 24 minutes long, this one, and it's going to be uploaded later on. And enjoy. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day there. All the best.